Hey folks, here I am in the Royal Inland Hospital in Kamloops, British Columbia, and this is the first time I have ever done a live stream video, and I hope it works good. We've had really good high-speed interconnectivity here from Royal Inland Hospital. They got a brand new building, and I'm on the 7th floor of the hospital right now, getting dressed up as a dress rehearsal sort of thing for events that were actually supposed to happen yesterday. I was kind of bummed out, and it was a real letdown when some family members didn't show up here for the dress rehearsal. And then it dawned on me that maybe they didn't show up as they were injured or damaged, or maybe my daughter, who was supposed to be here at 11, was getting caught up in noontime traffic. Maybe, well, you just never know. And then when 2 hours go by, 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and she's still not here, I started to really wonder about that. And, wonder and worry, because it's my daughter and my granddaughter. They were supposed to be here for the rehearsal. And then I couldn't even get a hold of them on the phone. My iPhone was still working at that time, but I wasn't getting any response from her or her mother either. Her mother lives out at Magna Bay and has an old-fashioned landline, I guess. And I couldn't get the landline. And I'm checking out everything. I want to make sure all the boxes are checked and all that shit is done so that this is live streaming through. And I want to record it too. And I think it does that. Or maybe I'll have to run through it all again with another video. But I got the time now. It's about 11 o'clock, almost 11 o'clock on the 14th. And I should have been dead on Sunday at 4 o'clock. And that's something I want to explain to you and people around the world, either through this medium or another one that I haven't set up yet. This is all live. It would be good if this is recorded. And I think it is live and recorded as well, because I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. And all I'm missing is my belt. I had this suit from a long time ago. I'm a Wisconsin boy, born in Wisconsin. And what am I doing up here in British Columbia, Canada? Well, that is a long, long story. And I can't get into the whole story, but I have a blog podcaster friend. His name is Ian Lewis. He's from Philadelphia originally. And Ian and I have been meeting up every morning for the last week because he wanted to capture as much as possible of me and my character on that videotape Zoom format as possible before I was inevitably passed. Now you wonder, why would I know that I'm supposed to die on Sunday? That's because I am part of what we call the MAID program here in Canada. It's a medical assistance in dying. We don't use the word suicide anywhere in there, but in other countries they call it assisted suicide or doctor-assisted suicide. And excuse me, over in Europe and Switzerland, it's even more simple than that because you don't even have to have a doctor. You just have to have a damn good reason for want to get off the surface of this planet, and you can join up with a society. They call them societies, and they will provide you with the ways and means and teach you how to suicide yourself in Switzerland. But it costs you about $25,000 because you got to go over there and hang out for 6 months as a fully fledged member of these suicide societies in Switzerland. Now, it's wonderful in Canada here that we have the MAID program, because there's a lot of people that shouldn't be suffering. They shouldn't be hanging around forever. They should be dead, and they should make room in the hospital for people that really need that space. And I can talk about that all night long, but tomorrow morning I'm going to be talking with Ian while we do a podcast. And then hey, sweetie, I'm live on YouTube right now.
Oh, sweet.
You want to be in the picture?
That's awesome. I got to run and grab my
This is the first time I've done a live broadcast with them, and it's working.
Oh.
And it's live, but they also record it, I believe.
Oh, cool. Okay, so people can go back and then I'll watch it later.
Yeah, you can watch it later, forever, whatever.
Right. I got to run, but
I was just talking to one of the nurses. She's really cutie. She's got a UCLA t-shirt on, but she never went anywhere near UCLA or even Southern California for that matter. But she's cute. lovely, and she travels to some of the places that I've traveled. Like I said, I left the U.S. I left the excited states of America. I call it excited states of America back in 1968. Actually, I left there in 1966, hitchhiked from Wisconsin all the way up to Fairbanks, Alaska, and back down. While I was up in northern BC in the Yukon, I fell in love with the North Country and vowed that I would come back when I could. But I had to go back down in the fall of 1966 because I started college down at New College in Sarasota, Florida. It was an experimental college set up and, well, funded by the Ford Foundation, and they were real sticklers as to who could get in. You had to be in the top 2 or 3% in the nation to get into this college, and then they gifted you with professors, a very high ratio of professors to students. Of course, there were some classes where all the students commingled, but the total student load at that school, I believe in 1966 and 7, was 600 students spread out over 3 grade levels. Those 3 grade levels included me in the lowest level. 2 other levels were before us. So I was in the final completing class at New College in Sarasota, Florida, 1966. New College is located in Sarasota and still has the same name, but now it's part of the University of Southern Florida, and it's quite a bit different than it ever was. Probably the only thing that's the same is the dormitory buildings, which were made or designed by I.M. Pye, some famous architect. And they're like a rat's maze, but one of them is total reverse image. So you had to be smart to be there, and you had to be smart to be able to find your room after an all-night drunk. You know what I mean? Well, the thing is, I could have gone to MIT. I had a full scholarship to MIT. I chose New College because it was really different and freaky at that time. New College was experimental and really unaccredited. But I didn't care because I didn't, even at that time, I was 19 years old. Even at that time, I didn't intend to spend my time in college learning, because for me, learning is an it's an all time consuming thing, and you can learn yourself, teach yourself far better than you can ever do in a college situation where you get distractions, pretty girls, poker, card games, booze, all that shit. So I got away from college as soon as I could, and that left me with no more student deferment. And you might not know what a student deferment was, but in the 60s and 70s, there was a hot and heavy war going on in Vietnam. Remember Vietnam? They still talk about it. They made movies about it. And I could have gone there for free in 1968 when I dropped out of college. But I said, no way, no fucking way. I am not going to Vietnam. I might end up fertilizing a rice paddy. I might have a wonderful time on the beaches and learn how to shoot guns and kill gooks, what they call gooks, slanty-eyed peoples. But that was not for me. I'm not a killer. I'm a lover. People don't realize that, too. Some people today think that I'm a fighter. They think that I'm mean and nasty, but I'm not. I'm the most gentle creature that you could imagine. And I'm breaking up in tears now because I'm in this hospital, but not tears for myself. I break up in tears when I visit the old people in these hospital rooms, because there's a lot of them that are just as old as I am and even older, but they don't have the choice that I have made. And some of them even beg me to take them with me. The spirit grows stronger as the body grows weak. But in my case, my body still appears to be strong. My spirit is strong along with it because I haven't let the medical system put the shit into me that weakens the body and eventually the spirit and the mind. Modern medicine may be wonderful for trauma. If you broke a leg or somebody kicked you in the nuts or you run over by a bus, then you want medical attention. But if you've got a disease, don't worry about it. Disease has a purpose on this planet. Disease is designed to keep the population in check. And that's another thing that we have to talk about, because the population in this world is definitely out of whack. There's more than twice as many Homo sapiens, people like me, on this planet now than there was when I was born. Now, I'm going to be doing another podcast in the morning talking about medical systems here in Canada, and most importantly, the assisted suicide, the MAID program, they call it MAID, Medical Assistance in Dying. So tomorrow on my podcast, not my podcast, the podcast is by Ian Lewis, and he'll have to edit a bit, but the world will see this eventually. And tomorrow's subject will be MAID and medical systems, so on. So far, Ian and I have been getting together every morning, but it's all running autobiographical. And then my voice got a little fucked up here, and I'm not even sure if we're going to do too much recording tomorrow because people won't realize that it's the same guy that they saw earlier in the series, in the podcast series. And this is the only way I knew how to get things up there live and streaming as we're doing now. Some of my friends will probably be watching this right now and just freaking right out, but others don't even know this is happening. So I sure hope it's being recorded because I'm not going to do this twice. Right now, though, I'm going to get up and do a little song and dance around the common break room here. I think I'm going to turn this machine around so that we get a better view. We have a really nice little common dining room here, but there's only 6 or 7 of the patients on this floor that are capable of joining us for meals. The rest of them, 12 or 13 people, are either crippled up because they've lost a leg, or more likely they're 10 years older than I am and they haven't been out of the bed for years. So they take the meals in the bed, they shit in the bed, and people look after them in the bed, which is kind of time consuming. I'm going to get up and do a little dance now, okay? I'll even get my harmonica. If you hang in there, actually, we should take a walk over to my room so you folks can see what my room looks like and get a wider view of this hospital situation. It's a brand new building. I guess it was an endowment by the Phil and Jenny Gagliardi Association. Gagliardi was mayor of Kamloops at one time, but he's long dead and gone now. So we don't see him, but this building is named after him. I'm in the Gagliardi Tower, 7 floors up. And the weird thing is, well, it's not weird. There's weird things happening all over the world right now. But the strangest thing for us here is forest fires. We're in Canada. Canada is a source of a lot of the smoke that you southern people are sucking up these days. And there's a big forest fire just to the east of us right now, out where my children live, I believe, near Magna Bay, Shuswap Lake. And it's just a wall of smoke, thick, thick smoke right now. And I'm lucky here in Kamloops, the air's been pretty clear, and we haven't had to deal with that smoke. Now we're into my bedroom. Well, it's more than a bedroom. I do everything in here. They wash me. They feed me. Well, I couldn't take my meals here, but usually I get out of the bedroom and I go and have my meals over there in the kitchen where we just left. I got this portable device with me, and the battery's up and good. So we're coming into my bedroom, and there's my bedroom with a fancy, hospital bed. Probably cost $5,000 or more to operate. It's got flashing lights on there, and it's got little buttons you push, go up and down. It's a wonderfully comfortable bed. And behind me over here is a big TV screen. I have cable TV, but I like to watch either CNN, which is full of Trumpisms and advertisements for fucked up medicines, or Channel 50, which is old movies with no commercials at all. That's really cool to be watching a movie in the evening, laying down there. See, there's our time. We got live here at 11 o'clock in British Columbia, which means we're on the Pacific Standard Time out here, Pacific, the PST. And now we're going to go over here in the corner, and it's all dark outside, but that's a window looking north of Kamloops into the hills. And here, I even have a pair of snowshoes that from my previous bodily existence. I say, no, not really. I made these snowshoes about 40 years ago, and I used them regularly for 20 or so, and then put them kind of on ice. I put them up on the wall, hung them up on the wall because I didn't need them at all. I was in an area where snowshoes were not necessary, and actually 2 different areas. I went back down to Wisconsin in 94. But in 92, after living some 21 years, no, more than that, we're missing bits and pieces of the story because I can't retell the whole thing because my blog guy, my podcaster, Ian Lewis has got it down already, and there's no sense in me repeating it. I'm in the bathroom now. There's a cool shower over here with a sit-down chair. You can sit on the chair and shower, and I do that even though my legs are strong, I can relax better and really soap up good, lift my legs, soap my asshole and all that. Over here, we got a super fast flushing toilet because one of the things that brought me in here was what I call the final straw. I've got a number of chronic conditions that I've been able to deal with myself. And the worst one recently was something to do with my lungs. They'd never been diagnosed or treated properly. I was treating it with marijuana, eating the marijuana, not smoking it, because I smoked enough tobacco and enough green shit. I smoked green and brown for 50 years, and my lungs were choking up. But then I came back from Ecuador one time. It was after I turned 60, I started traveling, and I think it was 65 or 6, and I came back from an Ecuadorian trip and started to have the weird things happening in my head. I'd be fine sleeping at night, but when I get up in the morning, my sinuses seemed to start leaking, and this fluid would build up and get thicker and thicker, get down into my palate, and then down into my throat, and eventually choke me up. So I was choking and hacking and coughing. And because of previous operations, like mostly the prostate cancer operation that I had at University of Virginia in Charlottesville in 2008, at that time, 2008, I was still living at the commune known as Twin Oaks. And coincidentally, after all those years, one of the communards at Twin Oaks, or actually Acorn, which was a offshoot of Twin Oaks, one of the people there named Ira. Ira, I met when I was 19 down at New College. She was in my class at New College, and that tickled me pink to see Ira because she really hadn't changed all that much over all those years. Now, there's one of the nurses going out to get busy a job, and there she goes. It's really quiet here at 11 o'clock at night, and it's even more quiet at 2 a.m. So being as mobile as I am, I got good legs still, and I got lots of energy. I've been helping out as much as I can in the hospital. It gives me a chance to ease the burden because even though it's a beautiful, great, brand new building, when the COVID business happened, a lot of people just wouldn't work in the hospital anymore, at least not under the direction of the current administration. So they lost staff, and they've never gotten the staff back. And a lot of the nurses, orderlies, porters, whatever they call them, are Filipinos. Canada had to go to the point of importing medical workers, and they're still importing medical workers. Now we're heading down to a friend's room. It's 11 o'clock at night, and he's wide awake, and he wants to visit some. And I told him I had to get my camera going somehow and get a good picture of me while I've got this fancy suit on. I got this suit in a real good deal at a secondhand store about 20 years ago. I just took care of it. It's pure wool. It's a little warm in here right now, and it's a Western cut, which is a little odd. But I'll step back and dance around so that you can get a good look. Now, Ken here is in room number 719, and I got to say, Ken, are you in there? Can I come in? Can I come in? We're on live video. Turn out the thing if you can. Turn off all that noise, and we'll come in and have you live video. There, he just shut off his color TV. He's probably watching Men in Black or something for the 14th time. Here we go. Now, Ken is a bit of a punster, and he's a little hard to understand because he's sucking oxygen, and his voice can't be as strong as he likes because he's fucked up in the lungs. His head's clear and smart. And Ken, what's your last name, Ken? Can you mind telling people your last name?
Not if it's being broadcast.
Okay, but we got your face. We got your face. That's good enough.
Just call myself. I'll call my last name is Willie. Ken Willie.
Ken Willie Wonka, something like that. That's the way he wants to be known, kind of an incognito. And I think he's not all that sociable tonight. He sounds like a grouch. Sometimes he really is a grouch. But tonight he's not a grouch. He just doesn't want to have the world. This is live YouTube. You know how they do it? Live stream YouTube? That's how I do it. I figured it out. So I don't need your camera. You're live right now. We're both live, talking my head off and going around the block. I'll come back with the watermelon in the morning.
Okay.
No coffee tonight.
You're not coming back?
I'll be coming back once I can, but I don't know how long I can do this. I guess as As long as the battery holds up, I can keep doing it because I've seen live broadcasts of protests and shit. They go on for hours as long as they keep their machines juiced up. So we'll see you later, Ken. We're exiting Ken's room now. We're heading back out in this marvelous hallway where I've been getting my exercise in the evening by walking these long corridors, see? Yeah. Walk one way for a couple minutes, turn to the right, walk for another couple minutes, turn to the right, and so on until I get right back where I started. Now, I'm going to turn this. No, I'm going to hold it like this, and you'll have to look over my shoulder to see where I've been, not where I'm going. I can look ahead over the top of this device and see where I'm going, but I want you to see where I'm been, and I want to keep it steady too, because I'm not shaky, but I don't have a tripod, especially I don't have a rolling tripod. Maybe I should grab one of those IV holders, those have 6 wheels on the bottom, 5 wheels on the bottom, because they're pretty steady. Maybe I can get one for one of these girls and do it that way. Just saw another girl walk by, see? But they don't want to be on TV. They don't want to be on YouTube. They're embarrassed. Some of them don't even want to admit that they work here. There's white girls here, but they're in upper positions. The lower positions are usually filled with the Filipinos and mostly Filipinos. And they're trilingual. They know English, Spanish, and Tagalog. And excuse me, that's a remnant of the condition in my lungs that I was treating with the marijuana. Actually, once I got in here, I found that I didn't need to do that marijuana anymore. Now I'm sitting on a chair that swivels, and I can swivel around and keep a good view of the whole hospital without any problem. But I cough and spit once in a while because we have discontinued the use of marijuana when I got in the hospital. Am I talking too loud?
I just need to talk to you.
Well, not right now. I'm busy.
Yeah, so it's about your
podcast, video. See, now one of the officials has come up onto me, and whether it's jealousy or fear of their job, she wants to talk to me about what I'm doing at the moment. I said, what I'm doing at the moment is presenting to the world a beautiful hospital building, which is underutilized and undermanaged, but that's the best we can do in Canada at the moment. I'm swinging around again. I'm heading down this other hallway, pretty quiet and empty, and that nurse just left me alone, the one that was butting in, trying to stop this podcast or stop this live broadcast. This live broadcast not going to stop until I've said a few more things, and then maybe later I'll change my clothes and do some more. But I got the suit on now because I was all set up for a dress rehearsal for my final execution. Now, that's not happening right now, and I'm not sure when the final date will be, but it'll probably be within a week or so. I won't be walking anymore. I'll be soaring through the spirit world. This carcass will be on its way to the University of British Columbia, and my soul will be seeking a whole new dwelling place. Getting back now into the common room, the family room, our dining room, and I don't think that nurse can do sweet fuck all about stopping this podcast right now because it's public property. Hospitals in BC are public property. It's not a private institution. It's run as a private institution, should be, sort of, but it's a public institution. It's poorly managed, this one. I'm going to set this up so that maybe don't have so much shiny on the back, top of my head. I used to have hair up there, really, believe it or not. It was blonde, and I was a real cute little boy. But eventually, all good things must come to an end. And talking about ends again, we're going to be talking about ends quite a bit because life brings an end to everyone eventually. The sad fact, well, I wouldn't say sad fact, but the fact of the matter is that death is inevitable. I'm just fortunate enough to know that I'm going out now, and doubly fortunate in knowing that I don't have to stick around and watch any further degradation of our beautiful blue planet. I've had enough time since I retired to do some traveling, wonderful places I've seen. Not long ago, maybe 8 years, I think, I was out in Rarotonga, which is exactly in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Before that, I made numerous trips to Ecuador, a country that I've always admired and loved since I was a child. I used to raise guinea pigs as a kid in Wisconsin. Raised them loose in the barn, and they'd run under the hay, and they were just raised as pets. Little guinea pigs with their squeaky little voices, and they breed so fast because the babies are born fully furred with teeth in their mouth and eyes open, not like a baby bunny or a human that's helpless. No, baby guinea pig is half head, and he's got it full of teeth and eyes and ears, and he's running around squeaking. Sure, he nurses for a while, but he'll start eating solid food the day he comes out of his mommy. So guinea pigs are really easy to raise. And down in Ecuador, they raise them to eat. They call it cuy. But they used to just raise them for special occasions. Now, with the tourist traffic hitting Ecuador, you can just about get cuy anytime. And they roast them on sticks. Usually they just kind of lay them open fillet them open and put some sticks through them. Sometimes they leave them round, like with the stick up in the middle, and then barbecue them. But anyhow, cuy tastes a lot like domestic rabbit. They're sort of in the same family, a lagomorph or something. They got white meat, and it's very good and juicy. It's like miniature pork, in other words. Now, I think I'll set this up a little different and maybe dance around a little bit while I got the suit and the energy. I'm going to just show you that I'm still good and lively. Physically, I'm lively. Mentally, I'm lively, but my body is really messed up. The thing that put me into the MAID program that allowed me to end my life in this glorious fashion is what they call acute severe ulcerative colitis. It's a long name for one of the irritable bowel diseases like Crohn's or bowel cancer. Mine has just got the longest name, acute severe irritable colitis. And what happened to me, in my case, was that back in April, I started pooping really loose poop and lots of blood with it. And I thought, well, I must have some kind of diarrhea and along with a little bit of hemorrhoids. And so I tried to cure myself with some hemorrhoid creams and shit. Of course, that didn't work because that's not what I was having. And then it took me a while just to get hold of a doctor because the system here is kind of broken down. I think I got hold of my first doctor by telephone through a pharmacy in Scotch Creek out near Magna Bay. And the pharmacist lined me up with an interview. And the doctor was from Nigeria. She'd only been in Canada 3 years. I could hardly understand her on the telephone because that's what it was, a telephone interview with the doctor. Not a visit, not an examination or anything. But I had, in the meantime, studied over books and internet stuff, Mayo Clinic and all that, and had determined that it was time for a colonoscopy, time to get in and have the doctors take a look inside to see what's happening. I didn't know what kind of irritable bowel disease I had at that time, but I knew I had an irritable bowel disease, and I needed a colonoscopy as soon as possible. But after this telephone talking with the Nigerian lady, I found out that, she said, I'll put you in touch with a doctor and we'll arrange for the scoping. A whole month went by before I even heard from another doctor. And it was again over the telephone. And this doctor said, well, wait, we'll have to line something up. Just give me your phone number and all that, and we'll line it up. So we lined it up, sort of. And eventually I got a telephone call saying, Mr. Kawatski, you can come in for a colonoscopy in Salmon Arm on the 24th of July this year, just a couple weeks ago. So that was the first time I actually saw a doctor or any medical people about my condition. In the meantime, the whole month of May, June, and July were like agony. I say agony because I was in agony for that time, because every hour on the hour, it felt like I was kicked in the nuts. And then I'd have to run to the John and shit, juicy stuff, and follow up that with a real smear of red blood. A lot of blood, too. And this went on for 3 months. And in that 3-month time, I lost about 45 pounds. So the colonoscopy in July 24th at Salmon Arm was the first real doctor's examination I had when I should have really been seen by a doctor back in April. And the doctor in Salmon Arm took one look up my asshole and said, Mr. Kawatski, I'm going to have to get a second opinion. And I said, well, how long am I going to have to wait for that? And she said, not very long, because this looks bad. And so on the 31st of July, I came into Kamloops here where I am now and had my second colonoscopy. and they kept me right here in the hospital and started using steroids injected into my body, corticosteroids. I'm thinking of the name, it's prednisone. I had been given some prednisone on the 24th by the salmon arm doctor, and I was taking it orally, but it was just shitting out before it could do anything. So I was still suffering the same symptoms, agonized pain, bloody, bleeding shit. But after they started injecting me with prednisone here in Kamloops, almost miraculously, the pain went away and the bleeding stopped. But the specialist, the gastroenterologist involved, had to tell me that this was just a temporary thing due to the corticosteroids. And they can't continue corticosteroids forever because they have a whole long list of deleterious side effects. And they didn't want me to have all these side effects, even though I had prior thoughts of getting into this MAID program, and my corpse would not care about side effects like diabetes, bloating, swollen ankles, shit like that. By the time I was dead, the side effects from the prednisone wouldn't matter because I'd be a corpse. But some of these guys didn't know that because they didn't know that I was planning on the suicide assistance route. Now, it's getting to be 20 minutes into this talk, 25 minutes into this talk, and I think it's just about time to end and start it up in a slightly different format because I've told you who I am. I've introduced you to myself, introduced myself to you, and from now on, things might start happening, but I'm only going to be on this planet for a limited number of days. And right now, I'm in the same boat that you guys are. I don't know when I'm going to die anymore. Up until a couple of days ago, I was pretty sure that I was going to die on Sunday, but things went sideways in a bad way. And that's a family issue. And I hope that Natalia and Kyle can see that I'm not out of my mind at all. I'm clear-headed. The drugs are not doing a thing for me except eliminating the pain and bleeding and suffering that I had to endure during the month of May, June, and July. There goes a friend of mine. Yeah, she's going out to have a smoke, but I can't leave. I can't leave anymore. They put one of these trackers on me. See? Because they're afraid I'm going to get out of here. But they've taken off the steroids. This is a live broadcast right now on YouTube. You want to be on TV? Okay, go out and have a smoke. By morning, maybe they'll do something. They have to stay here because they're afraid that if I do go outside, I might get some drugs outside because there's a lot of fentanyl everywhere in the world, and I might off myself before the whole issue is finished. So they put a tracker bracelet on me so that I can't get out of here without raising big alarms. Excuse me, that's a bit of a coming back there. See you later. I broadcast with a mouthful of garbage spit. I'm pretty crude when I talk like that because I'm a farm boy from Wisconsin and never learned how to talk proper language. And I don't speak all the big words as well as I should maybe. And now I'm going to have to try to figure out how to shut this thing down. I got it up and running. I'm pretty damn sure it's up and running pretty good now, but I don't know how many are watching. We've been going for 33 minutes and 19 seconds. So on countdown boxes run, I got to set this down and grab a chair and figure out how to shut it off. Be patient with me, folks. I'm being patient with you. There we go. I just found a chair so I can sit down on a chair and refocus here. Try to get some decent lighting so you can really see my face, and maybe I take these glasses off. I'm a little Polish boy from Waukesha, Wisconsin. Actually, Polish, German, Irish. I'm a real mixture of breeds. And my bald head shining like a top in the sun. And I think I should go this way, there. And then I can come in close so you can see who I am and what I'm all about. Some of my favorite YouTube people right now, well, I won't bother to mention them because I expand too much on this and I'll bore people all to death. Right now, the object is to shut it off and start up later, maybe in the day when the sun is out, and I can show you the windows, what it looks like out the windows. And it looks pretty bad. Fires and smoke all around us. The smoke is really thick to the east of us. where my kids are living right now. Here in Kamloops, in the hospital, smoke isn't bad. Although sometimes, first couple nights I was here, I could smell the smoke, but it didn't bother me too much. But right now it's smoky out to the east of here and pretty clear right here. Now I got to get my mouse. Okay, got my mouse. Now it's got a little mouse wheel. Finger pads are no good for me. Just slip all over. Now it says include messages that are held for review or removed by show activity. Got it. Okay. And you can show or hide moderate activity from here. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. So we missed out on the live chat, I guess, because you could have been live chatting back and forth at me. But this time of the day, it's a lot darker, a lot later in the middle of the night in the major parts of the USA. This is on the West Coast. Even out here, it's 11:30 and it's pretty quiet. Learn more. Welcome to live chat. No way. Changes may not be saved. I say cancel that. I don't know what kind of changes they want me to say. If it says say something, I can say, hi, y'all. And anybody can do that, you know. And that's what live chat's all about. But I can't live chat to myself. That's kind of crazy. Oh, okay. I see a thing that says end stream. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm end the stream. But on a positive note, this is me. My eyes are a little baggy and I look a little rough, but I'm only 75 years old. Born in February 1st, 1948 in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And I'll be dying one of these days very soon here in Kamloops, British Columbia. Folks, I'm going to end the stream now because I'm getting a little tired, thirsty, and I got to go get some coffee or something. Wake me up a little bit more and wet my whistle. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. So long, it's been good to know you. I gotta be drifting along. Yes, I gotta be drifting along. Maybe my next podcast video thing will have me playing the harmonica. I wanted to do some of that too, but I just don't have the wind for it or the time for it, and I'm not dressed for it. It's a beautiful wool suit, but it's a little warm for this climate. It's nice. It's not itchy, but it's warm. So end stream right now. Bye-bye, folks. Hope to see you again one of these days. Real soon. Real soon. Real soon.